This lesson is about looking for the equation of a line or determining the equation of a line using tables. We're going to look at first calculating the slope of a line, then we're going to examine the steps that we need to use to find the equation of a line. The slope is a very important component, that's why we go about that first. And then we're going to walk through about 3 examples together. So to calculate the slope of a line, we use the equation y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Also realize that this will be the same if you have y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. The whole concept of this is rise over run. So that is the main thing we're trying to do here. So let's look at an example. Find the slope of a line that passes through the points -3, 7, and 2, 5. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make this my x1, y1, x2, y2. So here our slope is going to be, I always have this habit of writing out my formula first, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now we can substitute. y2 is 5, y1 is 7, x2 is 2, x1 is -3. This is what I encourage all my students to do. When you have a defined method, it's actually more difficult to be wrong because you can see the layout of how you're going about your math problem. So just take a look at this, just having this method here of having the x1, y1, x2, y2, it's easy to just substitute the values into the original equation. So 5 minus 7, we have -2. 2 minus -3, it's 2 plus 3. So now we have -2 over 5. And that's our slope in this situation. Next thing we're going to do here, we want to look at the steps that we have to follow to determine the equation of a line. First thing we want to do here is select any 2 points from the xy value pairs from the table. Then we will calculate the slope using the point selected. And we can select one of the points from step 1, or we can just select any of the points from the table. And then we'll use the formula y minus y1 equal to m. M is actually your slope right here, multiplied by x minus x1. And then we're going to write the equation in the form y equal to mx plus b. Now let's go through some examples showing you how to do this. So find the equation for the line represented by the table below. So we're going to do, first thing is we're going to select any 2 points. I like to make things simple. I'm going to select these points. So the points I'm going to select are going to be the points 0, 0, and the points 1, 3. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to do our x1, y1, x1, y1, x2, y2. Next, we're going to look for the slope. The slope, I like to always indicate that it's represented by m, is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is going to be, y2 is going to be 3 minus y1 divided by x2, 1 minus x1. So this is 3 over 1, which is going to give us 3. So the next thing we have to worry about is our equation, which is y minus y1 is equal to the slope m multiplied by x minus x1. So because I have a point that is 0, 0, my point here is going to be 0, 0. Always try to make things as simple for yourself as possible. So we have, this is going to be our x1, y1. y minus y1 is going to be y minus 0, slope is 3, and then x minus 0. So this is going to be y minus 0, which is equal to be 3 multiplied by x. So this is y is equal to 3x. That is the equation of our line. And you can use this equation to test some of these points if you want. That's the way to verify. So if we look at, I'm going to do it just for this example, but just note that you can use this for every example. So in this case, let's look at x equal to 3. So y equal to 3 multiplied by 3, which is 9. So you can see that this works out for, this equation works out for this table. Next example, find the equation of the line represented by the table below. First thing I'm going to do is pick 2 points. I like to always pick simple points. If you don't like dealing with negative numbers, you can always pick the points that don't have, but it doesn't really make a difference. I like to pick any point that has a 0 in it because it just makes things a lot easier. So I have 0, negative 1, and then I have 1, 1. So here's how we're going to go about it. We got x1, y1, x2, y2. So now let's go ahead and get our slope. Slope m is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. y2 is 1 minus y1 minus negative 1. x2 is 1. x1 is 0. So this is going to give us 1 plus 1 over 1, which is 2 over 1. That gives us 2. The next thing we're going to do now is we're going to pick a point because we're going to we're going to use that point to find the equation of the line. So I have y minus y1 equal to m, which is our slope, x minus x1. I'm just going to pick the point 1, 1 as my point. You can actually pick 0, negative 1 if you desire, but I'm just going to use 1, 1. So this is going to give me, let's label the point. We have x1, y1. So our equation, let's substitute our points and our values. So y minus 1 equal to slope is 2. And then we have x minus 1. So let's simplify now. Y minus 1 equal to, we distribute 2x minus 2. And so now we're going to add 1 to both sides of the equation. So y is equal to 2x minus 1. So that is the equation of our line. You can go ahead and try a few points and see if it works, but I think it will. Actually, let me do one, just so that you can see how to do this. So we're going to pick this point here where x is 0. So y is equal to 2. Sorry, that's not right. Y equal to 2 multiplied by 0 minus 1, which is 0 minus 1, and that gives you negative 1. So you can see that the point works. Here's a final example. Find the equation for the line represented by the table below. The first thing we're going to do is pick any 2 points for our slope. I'm just going to pick the first 2 points. So I got 2, 3. I got 5, 9. Okay, so my habit here is x1, y1, x2, y2. So our slope, which is represented by m, is going to be first y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is 9, y1 is 3, x2 is 5, x1 is 2. So we have 6 over 3, which is equal to 2. And now, just for the sake of variety, I'm going to pick a different point. Let's pick one that is maybe 815. 815 is going to be our point, 815. And I'm going to label the points. We have x1, y1. Next, we have our formula, y minus y1 equal to mx minus x1. Don't forget, this is your slope right here. Let's call it slope. So let's substitute. Y minus y1 is 15 is equal to slope, which is 2, x minus 8. So we have y minus 15. We distribute the 2. It's going to be 2x minus 16. So we add 15 to both sides. So we now have y equal to 2x minus 1. Very interesting. So let's go ahead and test one point. I think that should be adequate. We're going to test one point here. And let's try 10, 19. So y equal to 2 multiplied by 10 minus 1, which is 20 minus 1, which is 19. So you can see that that point definitely works.